Max Goodman back on Speaking of the Mets and NJ.com, and I'm here in Double-A Binghamton with hitting coach Rachel Folden. Rachel, thank you so much for taking the time. How's
Thanks
the
for having
season treating you so far?
It's pretty good. Pretty good. Love being a Met. Yeah.
Okay, great. Before we get into specific scouting reports on the prospects, the position players that are here in Binghamton, I wanted to ask you about being a woman on a coaching staff, and maybe for the fans out there who don't know and aren't familiar with that part of the industry, how much progress within your career have you seen women make in terms of breaking those barriers and starting to be more present in that space?
Yeah, I think women's sports in general and women in sport in general is just in a huge state of like it's booming right now. And so to be in a male sport, obviously a male dominated industry, but also like coaching a male sport, it's definitely come with a set of challenges, but I've been really fortunate to work with two really good organizations. The Mets are amazing and have really just taken such good care of me and the other women that are here. There's so many more women around, and it makes me so happy.
Would you say that your goal is to be on a big league coaching staff?
I think, yes, I think that there's definitely some want there.
Okay.
It's hard for me to get outside of where I am right now.
Yeah.
It's like a blessing and a curse, but I'm just focused on doing the best job I can do at this level, and whatever happens after that happens.
Okay.
I truly mean that. I think that's like a stock answer that people love to give, but that's like legitimately how I feel. Is I have a team to coach here in Binghamton, and I'm focused on the task
Sure.
at hand.
Well, what's your favorite part of this role then?
To be honest, hitting's the hardest thing to do in sports. So to just watch guys get wins, you know, by finding barrels and taking good at bats and watching their confidence grow, that's, to me, it's the best medium for that. And it just teaches you so much about not only how to dominate the game of baseball, but also just how to win at life. It's just how to handle adversity. It's just such a fun environment for that.
Okay, awesome. And last question on this topic. For a young girl who maybe has an interest in this and wants to pursue it, what type of advice would you give them about navigating this world? And I'm sure it's getting easier for them now, but it's not perfect yet, obviously.
Yeah, I would say it sounds so cheesy, but the reality is just be yourself. I think so many times when women go into male-dominated industries, they think they have to act a certain way, or they have to carry themselves a certain way. And I think authenticity plays no matter where you are. And so just finding who you are and what you're good at and really leaning into that, I think is the best advice anybody could ever hear from anybody.
Amazing. All right, cool. Let's get to the Rumble Ponies.
Sure.
Because this offense has been on an absolute tear. Before we get to specifics, because we got a bunch of prospects I want to ask you about, how would you describe just the run that this lineup, and I know there's been some turnover with the deadline and everything, but the results have been there. Like, what's been the key overall for you guys lately?
Yeah, I think guys are just really bought into being a part of an offense as a whole. And I think that's what's really changed. It's been so hard to get some momentum this year with an offense as a whole, just because we've had so many injuries and so many key guys in our lineup. And so now not only is everybody healthy, knock on wood, everybody's healthy and staying on the field, but everyone's just bought into, okay, I will take my walk because I know the guy behind me is going to hit me in, or I will move a runner because I know the next guy is going to hit him in. And there's just so much of a want to do that right now because winning feels so much better than losing. So it's just become contagious, top to bottom, 1 through 9.
Sure. Okay. In no specific order, I'm going to run through some guys.
Let's
Give
do
me your take on them, what's been working well, what needs to improve, etc. Jefferson Rojas, new number 1 prospect in the org, coming over in the Clay Holmes and Tyrone Taylor trade. I'm sure you're still learning about the player because it's only been.
I actually have.
From the Cubs. That's right.
I actually have some crossover with Jefferson. So, dude, he's awesome.
Yeah.
Like, just has a really, really quiet but very focused demeanor about him. There's attention to detail about him. He wants to be great. And he's just he's never going to be the most vocal guy on the team, but he is a quiet leader in the way that he goes about his business. And man, he's come a long way since the skinny kid that I saw 3 years ago who was skipped rookie ball. You know, he's come a long way.
Well, that was going to be my next question since you were in Chicago previously. How have you seen him develop to a point where now he's a top 100 prospect in the sport?
Yeah, I mean, it's not a surprise. It's not a surprise. The determination, the focus, the care for his work and how he goes about his business has been there since day one. And it's just been a matter of polishing him from a talent perspective. And obviously, infield wise, he he's still a shortstop, so he's obviously doing a really good job there. That's not really my department, but he's really developed physically. And then as a hitter, you could see him go from someone who was really good at spraying the ball around everywhere, hit a lot of ground balls, to now starting to like find some power. And that's really paying off for him.
Can you think of, because I'm sure a lot of Mets fans watching this haven't seen him play yet, can you think of maybe a big league comp, or how would you describe his game overall? I know you were alluding to maybe the power starting to develop a little bit more. From what I've heard, it's that he's coming in with such a high floor because of just the overall skill set.
Yeah, that's probably what I would say. I'm not good at the comp game, to be honest, but sure. I think the high floor is a great way to put it. Is he is going to move the ball forward more than he won't. He's going to be a tough out, and he's also going to find a barrel when he gets his pitch. So he takes a really good at bat. He's stubborn to his approach. I got nothing but great things to say. I'm really happy he's here. Okay, I'm happy he's ours.
Well, what was your reaction when that trade happened?
I was pumped. So I immediately called their hitting coordinator and was like gloating on the other end of the phone. And he was like, dang it, I hated to lose that guy. And I was like, nope. I was like, I don't care. I don't feel bad for you. He's ours now. Like, yeah, it was kind of a fun conversation.
Okay, amazing. We'll stick with deadline acquisitions. And I know Émilien Pitre and Billy Amick aren't here in Binghamton anymore. They just got called up to AAA Syracuse. But on both of those two, I know they're very different hitters, but what makes them so good individually?
Yeah, I think we'll start with Amick. I think the power is obviously, it's very obvious. Yeah. He's got 30 home runs, and I think he led Double-A in RBIs when he left. So that's very real, and I think there's some swing and miss to his game that I think he knows about, but I think what keeps him being able to continue to drive runs in and put the ball over the fence is he takes a really good at bat. Like, he does not chase outside of the zone. And so you have to throw it over the plate to beat him. And that's a scary place to be for a lot of pitchers when you got power like that standing in the batter's box.
Sure. I mean, the raw power there. What is the key for him to limit the swing and miss and the strikeout? Because I know that is part of his game, and maybe the modern hitter can get away with that if they're hitting 40, 50 homers, and it seems like that's in him. But obviously, it would help him in terms of expediting his path to the big leagues if he's going to make more contact.
I mean, I think that just getting more at-bats in professional baseball is going to expose things that you then have to make adjustments about. And so far, the game hasn't told him that he needs to do much different. And so I think when the game does that, from what I know about him from spending 2 weeks with him, I think it was maybe less than that, maybe a week and a half, because I just took my vacation week. So I didn't go on the road with them to Portland. But knowing what I know about him, he's extremely intelligent. He keeps things really simple, and he can make really quick adjustments. So to me, the game is going to expose some stuff, and he's going to make adjustments.
Sure. So from someone who makes maybe not enough contact all the time to someone who only makes contact with Pitre.
Yeah.
I know we're not going to say any big league comps again, but the hit tool strikes me as
real.
So how does he turn that into a successful big league career? Like, what else is there for him to tweak and refine?
Again, I think it's just going to be a matter of getting enough at-bats to say that he can play the big league level. I don't see any holes in his game offensively, because even when maybe there's a bad matchup on the mound, he's going to move the ball to move a runner, or he's going to put a bunt down, or he's going to hit a sac fly. And I've seen him do that. Again, was very limited exposure here, and I've seen him do all of those things. And it's really impressive to watch. The barrel control, just the way he takes an at-bat and executes his plan, I think is really special. And I think the hit tool is going to keep him in the big leagues for a long, long time. Okay.
Is there a specific at-bat or drill or anything in that limited sample where you saw him just peppering line drives and it really stood out to you in that way?
I think I was watching the series on my tablet this weekend when they were playing Portland, and there was an at-bat where it was like a ball. It was really early in the count, and you could see like pitcher threw a ball down in the zone. It was a strike, and then left the ball up, and he just hit it to center field, fly ball, scored the run from third, and it was just like, all right, the what's next? Like, it was just so easy for him. And so I think those are the kinds of things that keep you in a big league lineup, and so that's why I could see him playing in the big leagues for a really long time.
Okay, another potential future big league stud in Mitch Voit.
Sure.
Another huge name within this system, being a former first-round pick. What do you like most about his offensive profile overall?
Just the way he works. I'm telling you, the stark difference that you can draw from how he started out in Brooklyn to where he's at now it's like a line, and then all of a sudden he just took off.
Yeah.
And once he figured out how to hunt pitches in his area, I think that's really when you saw the production start to change. And I'm real good friends with this hitting coach in Brooklyn, and we talk all the time about it. And it was just once he committed to, this is my area, I'm going to stick to my plan, that's when he really took off. You know, the tools have always been there, the swing's always been there, the athleticism is special, he can run. It's just a matter of taking a better at bat, and I think he's really starting to figure out how to take a professional at bat, and it's obviously showing.
Well, when I said at the beginning of this that the lineup as a whole has been playing really well, his numbers are unreal in these first couple of weeks here. What you were just alluding to, is that the key for him recently, or have you seen anything else?
No, I think it's just a matter. It was, he had already started. That train had left the station in Brooklyn, and then when they moved him up here, he just continued. And I think one of the most special things about Mitch is the moment is never too big for him.
Yeah.
You know, obviously he played at a big school, and he's played in front of a lot more fans than you get in minor league baseball in a lot of ways. And so it was just put him in the lineup and let him do his thing. And I think he's really just has a good understanding of who he is as a player.
Okay. Maybe you don't make these decisions, but how close do you think he is to Triple-A and the big leagues there?
Well, I mean, I think that there is nothing to suggest that he can't continue to move quickly.
Sure.
That's as much as I'll say about it without, asking a question on someone who's more well-versed in those types of decisions than me. I'm just a hitting coach.
Yeah, no. Jacob Reimer.
Yeah.
He was actually the first prospect that I talked to on
Nice.
this YouTube channel. The power is real with him as well. I know it's been an up and down year with the injury list that he was on. What does he need to work on to finish this season strong with, obviously, the tools that he does have?
Yeah, I think the biggest thing for Reimer has just been, let's get consistent at bats under our belt. He's another guy that we started to get momentum with, and then there was some time off. And then it was started to get momentum, and then there was some longer time off.
Yeah.
And I think now he's in a spot mentally where he can really, and physically especially, where he can really focus on the pitches that he's looking for and his approach at the plate. Mm-hmm. And when he gets to that spot, that's when the things get really dangerous. And you can see he had a really good week last week, and you could just see him committing to a plan. I also think he's really, really good when he just hits the ball the other way. Okay. And he's really good at it. And him and I talk about it all the time. But, he is a product of a ton of people in this organization working really hard to get him to the spot that he's in. And so now it just becomes, this is the fun part when you start to become a higher level professional baseball player, which just, what's he throwing? How can I get to this guy? What's my approach? And that's when it starts to feel like you're up there hitting versus you're up there trying to figure out your swing.
Yeah. All right, one more for you.
Sure.
Chris Suero.
Yeah.
Which, cool story there from the Bronx.
Amazing.
Local kid, goes to the DR, gets picked up as an international signing. Plays a lot of positions.
Yeah.
And I know that the average isn't maybe where he would want it to be this year, but the pop is legit as well. What stands out most to you with him?
His athleticism and his competitiveness are, if on a 20 to 80 scale, they're 90s. It's incredible. Like his competitiveness, he wants to win. He will fight people for his teammates. Like he is just that kind of guy, and everybody loves him. He has so much energy and just his pure raw athleticism. He is extremely strong, but he also is he has 30 bags.
Yeah.
Like you don't see a lot of catchers with 30 stolen bases. So his athleticism and his tools are so real, and it's just, for him, it's just a matter of refining it. And I think Double-A pitching kind of exposes some things to a lot of guys, just because pitchers can throw a lot more breaking balls in the zone. They throw a lot more same side changeups, a lot more cutters, a lot of those types of things. And I think he's done really, really well at figuring out how to get his pitch. Okay. He's also had some bad luck this year a little bit. He's hit some balls hard.
Yeah.
Our internal metrics really like him.
Okay.
Even though I know the batting average doesn't always say it. Sure. But the tools are real. I mean, he's might be hitting 200 or just above 200, but he's got an 800 OPS, and you don't really see that a lot. Yeah. So I think there's some really special things. He doesn't chase, takes a really good at bat. There's just a couple little tweaks that are, if once those things get ironed out, he is going to be an electric prospect. And we've seen flashes of that this year, and we've also seen that last year too.
Yeah. No, I think it's a great point what you brought up with the athleticism, because we don't necessarily see that very much with catchers. How has he handled maybe the dips in how his season has gone, where it sounds like he's had some poor batted ball luck, which
Yeah.
is always frustrating
Yeah.
for a hitter. Has he taken it in stride? You talk about how much he wants to win.
Oh yeah, he's been like, the thing that I will always appreciate about Chris is no matter what, there's an energy that he brings to the ballpark that is, he's a leader and everybody feeds off of his energy, and he has not wavered off of that for one day. And so that to me is the sign of someone who it's going to be purely physical that's going to limit him to get to the big leagues, right? He is going to will his way to get the most out of his body that he can get to. And it's really, really fun to watch just how much energy he brings every single day. He's been great.
Okay, awesome. Yeah. Before I let you go, obviously there are prospect rankings that a lot of Mets fans will consume to see who they should keep an eye on or not. I'm not asking you to pick favorites by any means, but is there an unranked prospect that you've crossed paths with here in Binghamton that you think should be in the spotlight a little bit more, that maybe hasn't been written about or talked about as much? Someone who's playing really well, someone who has huge upside.
To be honest, I have no idea who's even on the prospect list, if I'm being completely honest. I know who the guys are that, you know, I can, by lineup construction, you can usually tell who the dudes are. But to be honest, I'm so focused on just like, I keep my head down and just focus on the Rumble Ponies that I'm like so unfocused on all of that noise. I wish I could help you out.
No, I hear you.
Yeah. It's funny. It's like I'm also new to the organization too. So there's a lot of guys I just don't know. So
Rachel, I can't thank you enough. This was awesome. I appreciate the
time.
time.
Thanks.
And I'll see you next time.
Sounds good.